Welcome to another episode of Quick Fix, where I, Drew Schulman, invite a guest onto the show to pitch a quick fanfic episode of Supernatural based on a monster of the week of my guest's choosing. And this week, I have the amazing Katie, or Dusty L. Cannon on social media, of the amazing Gentleman's Pirate podcast, and Making It Up As We Go, a Destiel audiobook fanfic podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hello. Thank you for joining. Yeah. It's also really weird because I've been hearing your voice all week. I've been catching up on season 2 of Gentleman Pirates.
We have lots of thoughts. We talk a lot.
I feel like Mary and I only started talking about it right around the end of season 2. The sentiment of the show had really changed for her.
Yes. Yeah, poor baby.
Mm-hmm. So listening to season 2 being like, oh no, I know what's coming.
I know. Yeah, that's really tough. It's still such a great show. We still really want it renewed and want to see, there was a couple of things in the season 2 finale that we didn't like, but that's okay.
That's it. I think the show does so much good that despite how many flubs came up at the end, I think a lot of good still came from it.
Sure.
And I still think knowing that this was kind of planned to have, I think it was said he knew he wanted a third season,
yes.
So we ended season 2 with season 3 in mind. Gives me hope that maybe, you can't fix everything.
Right.
Izzy unfortunately got the ending he didn't deserve.
Right.
But hopefully some other stuff can be in.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, especially on a show like this. It's so good. It's so queer. It's so beautiful.
Exactly.
Not everything's going to be 100%, and that's okay. And just kind of go with grace and go with the knowledge that they presented it to you in good faith. We're not going to demonize anyone and be like, they meant to do this and hurt us, and so. Exactly.
Yeah. I kind of have to always sort of assume, especially in this day and age, that it was never done maliciously.
Sure.
It was just they missed what they were trying to hit. They
Sure.
knew what they wanted and they just do it again.
Well, and then the studio, who knows what happens after the fact? Here's exactly. Our baby, don't mess with it too much. And the studio's like, take this out.
As I've not finished Supernatural, as you clearly know, and our listeners know as well, I am just to place this in time, we're recording this while I'm still mid-season 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we're halfway through. We're dealing with Leviathans, and we've just lost Bobby.
Oh, that's so
I was not ready for that. But I also know that there is a lot of controversy with the ending of Supernatural because other regions, when they got the translated version of the scripts for the voiceover, some of the lines changed. So I know there's always the creative intention, the original writing, and then the final product. So who knows where any blame, if any, falls or who.
Right.
And as much as I could sit here and talk about gay pirates for the rest of the day.
I know.
Honestly, my show, I can do what I want.
Huh.
But you are my guest, and I'd like to ask, in this little fictional bottle episode of Supernatural, what would you have the boys face?
Okay, so I'm glad you worded it that way because I don't necessarily have a monster in mind, but more of a scenario. Ooh. And it's more like a labyrinth or something like Indiana Jones where they have to solve puzzles. There's locking mechanisms. It's Chamber of Secrets type of thing.
I love this.
There is an episode later on in Supernatural that there's a tiny bit of that, and Dean is very much like Indiana Jones hating snakes, where it's the superhero who's afraid of nothing, but then there's that one thing, kind of like Sam with clowns, And
oh my god, yes.
Yeah, and so the potential for comedy is there, and then the code cracking for Sam to show off his intelligence. I think that would be so much fun.
Yeah, this is ripe with, like you said, the comedy beats of just the two of them kind of, and I assume it would just be the two of them. I feel like Cass could be there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it'd be the kind of thing where they would realize they could bring Cass in because he's an angel and he can just appear and show up.
Right.
And then within minutes they'd be like, no, this was a mistake. Yeah. I don't understand how this works.
Leads it's warded. I can't get through, but here, let me help you try to crack that. And they're like, Cass, no, buddy.
The kind of thing where they get a really simple my brain goes to like escape room level puzzles, but I would have to assume they'd be a little more like ancient evils and like mystical.
Well, maybe Cass could really help then. Like maybe he sits in the corner and he's like, well, yeah, that's Aramaic for blah, 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 you know?
Oh, I love that idea. I think every time I do one of these, I end up with a bit of like, Cass shows up and is useless or secretly is helpful without realizing it, because it's just like, he has such puppy dog energy to me.
He's our golden retriever.
Oh, and like, again, it feels like the kind of thing where like, again, I feel like a worse written show would literally have Sam like, I love escape rooms and they're so much fun, and Dean never wants to go to one. Oh no, we're stuck in an ancient evil escape room.
Yes.
Which, like, again, the show probably could pull off if they tried.
Absolutely, yeah. This show is, I have never found, I kind of apply Supernatural to a lot of different shows that I watch, and I'm like, could Gotham Knights do a French mistake? Could Our Flag Means Death could do a French mistake? But, you know, like, could this show, could like The Librarians, or should, you know, like any show you kind of think about, could Game of Thrones have a comedic episode? No. You know, like this show is so wild because it can get so deep and so emotional. It can be a true horror show, or it can be hilarious. And like, I don't know if that's a testament to the writing or the acting or a combination of both, or, you know.
No, I agree completely. I think, like, I'm trying to think of other shows that like could get away with this kind of stuff, and like Buffy is up there, but I feel like to compare Buffy and Supernatural is like every day for people who do these kind of shows and stuff.
I think Merlin did it a lot. Like there was some goofy episodes of Merlin. Maybe not meta necessarily, because that would be just too far.
I still need to watch Merlin. I have plans to watch it. It's also the thing where like I finally saw clips for the first time because I binge watched all of the Monster of the Week Boys' music videos.
Oh yeah.
And it totally occurred to me that the guy who plays Merlin is in one episode of Doctor Who that I love.
Oh, okay. Oh,
he plays like this annoying kid in like an amazing episode.
Really? Colin Morgan is great. Now, if you're not ready for Merlin with him yet, watch The Living and the Dead with him. It's like a mini series. I think it's on Prime. Yeah.
Keyword miniseries. Yes.
And it's so good, and it's like a horror ghosty type of story.
Ooh, very my kind of stuff. I mean, really, obviously, but also very my kind of stuff.
It's really well done.
The next big watch is X-Files. Mary and I are going to follow along with the boys again for that one.
I have to do that. I've only seen a couple of episodes. Like, obviously, I grew up in the 90s. Like, it was just kind of ubiquitous. Like, you'd flip channels and be like, oh, I'll catch an episode. But I was not like a serial watcher of the X-Files.
I think I did like the first maybe 3 seasons and just fell off. But I was literally like renting the DVDs.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's how old I am.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so the brothers in a labyrinth type scenario. I love this. I will admit, my first thought was to go with like, it's an escape room but haunted.
Right. Yeah.
So like, I'm getting Trickster vibes a little bit.
Yep.
But I kind of love that.
Yeah. I think the easy answer would go with the demon at the end, because I think that's where Supernatural would go, as a demon type of situation. But maybe it could be a little bit more, you know, spooky.
I mean, I could see them doing just in the Supernatural way of like taking mythological creature or entity and making it like it has to survive in modern times, kind of like we've seen recently with the Time God from the season 7 episode we just watched, where he goes back in time to the 40s.
Oh, that was good.
So I could see like the human embodiment of like the classic labyrinth minotaur having to like trap people in some sort of puzzle because that's how he feeds or something.
Okay, so kind of like a Jin almost.
Yes, very much like a Jin. Yes, okay. And then like, it kind of fits the Supernatural vibe. Of course, it would just be a really big buff dude as the minotaur, because that's just how Supernatural does every creature, is just here's a human with like I think we said like the only time they've done like a human with like almost creature-like features was like the dragons when they had claws.
Yes. Well, and that's the first thing I think of is the dragons. They're like, we have dragons on the show. No, it's a bunch of middle-aged men. It's cool. Like,
it's some middle-aged, less than attractive men who I think their eyes glow like once, and they have like
little claws,
almost claws.
Have you seen the Rougarou episode yet?
Yes, the Rougarou is one of the other ones where it's like
little wicked, because it's like, okay, you look scary.
And like that's like, I like when they go a little bit into the creature.
Yeah.
But like, I can't imagine them making a dude and then like they break into the room and find him and he just happens to be half bull, half man. Like, how did you like survive this long like this? Like, come on.
Right.
But like, whatever. I just, my personal like thought is the idea of like using a bit of that mythology into it.
That would be cool.
And then you could get away with like whether it is an actual like he has converted like an abandoned subway system into a series of tunnels and puzzles, or I kind of also just love that he like runs an escape room place and every once in a while he like fucks with people to get a real meal.
That would be cool because that could be how they found the case, you know. They're like, all these
like
people
just an
went to escape room
with an odd.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And of course, like Sam's like wants to go to this town anyways because he's down for escape room con or some bullshit.
Okay. See, and I'm the person, I love like murder mystery dinners and stuff like that.
I've never done one of those.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. So we went on a murder mystery riverboat cruise, and I'm always pulling my spouse, and I'm like, please come. When we went to Savannah, Georgia, and that was so much fun. But then for my birthday one year, he took me to a murder mystery dinner in Louisville, and he actually paid extra to make me one of the suspects. And I didn't even know it was happening. So like everyone's supposed to like vote on who they think killed the person. And you sit there and you have dinner with these people at your table and they get to know you and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just here on a date, whatever. Well, like 3/4 of the way through the dinner and they're like, and this person, and they pull out a picture of me, like a photo of me, not at the dinner, like a previous photo. And they're like, and she, da-da-da-da-da. And everyone looks at me and is like, have you been an actor this entire time? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, we think you're lying. But my husband slipped the photo to them and he like paid extra to make me a part of it.
Oh, that's magic.
Yeah. And I like couldn't convince these people that I wasn't just a paid actor, you know, sitting and having dinner with them.
And like, what a nice little compliment too. Like, I gotta say, that'd be so nice.
Yeah. It was
so
much fun. Yeah. I had a blast.
My local game store just recently, extended their shop, and essentially the extra space is going to be like an event space.
Oh, fun.
And I've been working with their coordinator on some projects we want to do together there, and one of the ones we said is like once they have their liquor license, like doing like an evening game night / murder mystery.
Oh,
like
fun. Yeah.
Oh no, I want to get in on those. I think it's such a fun concept.
Yeah. So yeah,
which is why like an episode like this I'd be hooked on.
Oh my God.
Trying to solve the puzzles while you're watching.
And he's like, Dean is like, Sam, you just want to go because you want to go to the escape room. And he's like, no, people have gone missing. People go to these escape rooms and they go missing, Dean. It's a case.
Oh, and then like of course Dean, like not even that, would blow it off. It's like, no, it's just them drumming up press. Like it's clearly fake. Oh, part of me also kind of imagines like, I think the obvious thing you do is you have the puzzles that Sam can't solve, but Dean for some reason can because of just some niche knowledge he has.
Yes.
Oh, like I'm picturing. Did you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I've seen a smattering of episodes, yes.
There's one where they're in an escape room and it's like very clearly like the captain who is like, I am smart and know things.
Oh, yeah.
The assistant who's also very smart but just lazy and doesn't care.
Yeah.
And the two worst cops. But like each of them, like one of them figures it out because like he happens to know Morse code because one of his favorite like food brands he can only order from another place and they have to communicate in Morse for no reason. And like just like I picture Dean like in a room and like Sam's like, I can't figure it out.
Yes.
Dean's like just like fiddling with toy cars on a shelf being like, can you believe they've got like a whole set of these Hot Wheels, like the 63, the 84, and the wait, those numbers.
Yes. It's like the My Cousin Vinny moment where, you know, it's like you have this niche knowledge of there's no way that it could be this car because it has a, you know, a dual suspension or something. Yeah.
Or like it doesn't make sense. They have all the models, but they're missing the 1942, like the most famous one. Why would it be missing? And then like, oh, that's the code to the safe.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes. I think that's another thing too with bottle episodes is I just love the idea of like the fish out of water scenario where you kind of get to put like one of them in a weird place.
Right.
I believe the first fanfic we did with this was Audra from Gate Leapers. We basically had Dean having to like follow the rules of D&D while Sam was like giddy about it. Dean hated it but ended up loving it.
Oh, how fun. Yeah, so it could be like that where Dean like super gets into it and Sam is like, okay, I'm kind of tired of this now.
Almost like disappointed that he doesn't get to be the hero, that he has to just watch his brother save the day. Oh,
yeah,
that's kind of adorable.
I love it.
That's cute, but I love it. So I feel like that kind of covers my next question usually, which is like which of the brothers would kind of be the focus of this episode. And I think this is a fairly like balance. You kind of get both of them.
Yeah, I think so.
After so many, like this whole season 6 and 7 where it's like all Dean all the time, which I don't mind.
Right.
Sam deserves some spotlights here and there.
Honestly, I love when they can show him off, and they can show that he's, I know he has sometimes just some obscure esoteric knowledge, but like this would be a great time to show off some obscure esoteric knowledge.
Exactly. Like I would love the idea that he like happens to know like some really arbitrary facts about like map making or like something like super niche and nerdy or like I feel like knowledge of flags is another one of those nerdy things people have.
Can we pause for just a second? I think my child is knocking on the door.
Sure, go ahead.
Natalie? No. I'm recording something. Can you go ask Daddy for whatever you need? Okay. Thank you.
Aw.
Thank you.
I know you had kids.
Yes, I have 2, 15 and 8.
Oy.
Yeah, 2 girls.
That's good age gap.
Yeah, and then I have a 29 and a 26-year-old stepdaughters, and they both have daughters.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
4 girls, 2 granddaughters. Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
That's got to be a fun holiday.
It's a spread. Yeah. Well, the 26-year-old's a Jehovah's Witness, so she doesn't do holidays. And
it's amazing how often out here our first year here was Chris. We moved here to the Halifax right around the holidays, and the number of people who like commented on us like not having Christmas decorations or not celebrating Christmas and assume we were Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh,
and
funny!
Like, no, we're just Jewish.
Yeah,
it's just funny. It's like like what was the the joke we keep telling is one of the neighbors goes, "Oh, you're JW," and we go, "Put an E in the middle."
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, the 8-year-old's been sick. She's had a fever and achy legs and stuff. I think she has the flu.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds like a bad flu.
Yeah. So, anyway, where were we going into with Sam? So, yeah, a balance of Sam with his knowledge.
I think is a great way to do it. Exactly, yeah. A balance where each gets kind of shine in their own little way. Like Dean, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like defying the odds and being like secretly good at it.
Yes.
And then Sam kind of having to accept that like, we have to share the load. I can't always be the star.
Yeah. But I'd love for Sam to have like the final key that unlocks whatever is the big bad or the final thing. Like
I could almost even see it as being like at some point they figure out, let's just say it's a Minotaur, like with like. And Dean's like, I know how to deal with these things. It's easy. It's da 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 da. And then at the end, like, it doesn't work. And Sam's like, no, I realize what he's doing wrong. And I get to be, like, his hunting knowledge outdoes Dean this time for once.
Because I do think Sam sometimes gets the short end of the stick on episodes.
Yeah, I think that's...
and we love our Sam. Because I'm a Destiel shipper. I'm all about Dean and Cass, but I love Sam. I love him.
That's it. I think Sam is, like... We've been talking about it a lot in the last few recordings that haven't come out yet. But, like, there's this, like, general vibe that, like, Sam is so, like, underutilized compared to Dean.
He is.
Like, he's either, like, the MacGuffin in an episode. Like, he is the thing that's drinking Demon's blood and they have to deal with. Yeah. But he never gets, like, developmental episodes the way Dean does as much. Yeah. Or his development is very, like, sidelined to the episode.
Because he's not as clearly flawed as Dean.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you're a person who doesn't need to grow and change. You're already grown and changed.
That's it. There's like a weird vibe to Sam where it's like, we said it was like the writers didn't know how to write him. Yeah. Because Dean is so much more fleshed out, but also his flaws are a lot more, like, blunt.
Yes.
Sam is, like, more nuanced and they, like, don't explore it as much.
Right. Yeah. And I think he's, Dean's the Han Solo, he's the Indiana Jones, and, he's fun to write, I think, and Sam is too. And Sam, we love our Sam, but I wish they would have found a little bit more of a balance, given him some wins.
I feel like Sam, like this is a great example of an episode where, like, Sam could be the star of the episode. Yeah. But, like, even you and I, as fans of the show, want to see both of them flourish.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
But it really feels like the writers, at least up until season 7, were, like, much more on the Dean train than the Sam train.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And again, I think for a lot of obvious reasons, he is kind of more emblematic of what the show is meant to be, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's the driver. He drives the car. He drives the car. Like,
and Sam is just shutting his mouth because he's shotgun.
Yeah. It is.
Sorry, shuts his cake hole.
Yeah.
That's the line.
It is wild the dynamics that come into play, and I don't know necessarily why or how, but there are definitely it's definitely there.
Well, I do have 2 younger brothers, although we weirdly figured out when the middle one got married a few months ago that despite him being the middle child, he has the eldest child energy and the middle child energy, and like a lot of the stigmas that go with those.
Yeah.
But like just in general, having a brother who is a little bit more of the like even if they're not actively taking the spotlight, it tends to lean to them.
Mm-hmm.
I very much understand being the Sam.
Yeah, I guess I would be too, because I was the middle child and the only girl, but my younger brother, I was 11 when he was born. So it was 12-year-old, 11-year-old, newborn. So until 11 years old, it was just me and my older brother. And my dad very much favored him, was like, you're my son.
Ugh.
And they're like, and you too, Katie, so
like I won't project on your father. I
sure,
don't have the right to do that. I don't know the guy.
John Winchester,
but like that has, I was gonna say like not nearly as bad, but like I get that.
But yeah, it was definitely like, you're my golden child, come bask in my glory, and Katie, you can tag along later if you want. So
well, that was like, I mean, like, love my father, we are super close now. In fact, moving out and moving province has made us even more close, which is nice. But like growing up, that was kind of the same vibe. Yeah. My middle brother was very much into the things he was into.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to bond over cars and going to car shows and going for drives and biking. Mm-hmm. And then the littlest brother just sort of like glommed onto whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
So like I would be like, I'm going to stay home and watch Power Rangers and play Pokemon. You guys go look at cars. I don't care.
Yep.
I'm happy to be alone with my Nintendo.
Right. No, I was definitely like that. So yeah, even though I am the middle child, I definitely feel like the double children with being the younger one, like a Sam. So yeah.
I think Sam often, like the way the show treats him is middle like child energy, but the way he's treated by John and Dean is the youngest child energy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I'd be curious, let's say, and again, whether it's a Minotaur or something else, whatever this creature is that's ultimately running this puzzle, who would you put in that role? Is there a particular actor you would cast in that for fun?
Ooh. We were talking about Colin Morgan, and I think he is excellent in everything he does. So if I could stunt cast, it would be him.
Honestly, I was going to say, of the actors we've been talking about, I did not think of him, but now going back to what I know of him from Merlin and from the one Doctor Who episode he's in, I can see that being really good. Plus, I also like the idea of you picture the Minotaur as this giant buff, Jason Momoa-esque man statue, and get this relatively scrawny but raggedy kid.
I'd say relatively I don't know. Watch The Living and the Dead and season 5 of Merlin, and he's not scrawny anymore.
Really? To me, he's a little twig of a boy.
Oh no, yeah,
he looks like Cumberbatch's sick little child.
Okay, he did in season 1, season 2. He got a very unfortunate haircut, and his little ears are sticking out. And then season 5 rolls around, and I'm like, oh hey Merlin, hey.
Oh, a little glow up, eh?
Yeah, he did definitely.
Totally natural, no magic involved.
Right. And then Living in the Dead, he is fine. So
because I was gonna say, even in Doctor Who, in the one episode he's in, he has that same bowl cut.
Yes. Yeah, I think he was probably in the middle of Merlin when he did that one.
He must have been. The timing seems really too weird. Yeah. It's funny because I was thinking of other actors, and I just again, just because he's top of mind and I love him in everything he does. But Taika Waititi as a villain in Supernatural.
What's funny is I watched he just did a Daily Show interview with Leslie Jones. And he has, because she's guest hosting on the Daily Show, and so of course they wanted to talk about Our Flag Means Death, and he has a new film coming out, and he had such chaotic energy, he was tripping over his own words, he couldn't even get a full sentence out before he had another thought. I was like, oh honey, take a breath, calm down.
Oh yeah, no, his energy. He did an ad recently, for I don't know what it was, but it was being aired in New Zealand, and it was
I saw that.
The pro racism ad.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's sarcastically I'm a native New Zealander, so I'm pro racism, totally tongue in cheek. And the idea basically being is even if you're the littlest bit racist and no one else sees it, the people you're being racist to know it, and it affects them and it hurts them. So you're doing a great job at being racist.
Oh my gosh.
And like the idea basically being is like no matter how much like you mask your racism, the people you're
sure
referring to understand it and are hurt by it.
Right.
So like
Stop
every little bit of racism accounts essentially.
Sure.
So it's like very tongue in cheek, but like really like
oh my gosh, that's
him. But it's also him playing the villain, which is weird.
Yeah. That's, about Our Flag Means Death when he really kind of gets deep into his feels and you're like, no, but I want to like you. Stop it. Yeah.
Well, even at his worst, like when he's like, I'm picturing him like when he's kind of going mad and having them fight to the death, and he's gonna also blow up the mask. He's like, I was gonna do it anyways.
Yeah,
like,
he is. Yeah, he's got that energy where like, you love to hate him.
That's it. He's like he's very much. I keep saying Doctor Who, but like the Master from Doctor Who again. Like just this like jovial like everything sucks and I hate the world, so I'm just gonna get rid of it because I can, and it's funny. Like just like. I'm evil, but I'm fun.
Yeah. He'd be great too. Yeah.
And I picture that like them getting to like the final room and turning the chair, and it's just him being like, "Yep, you found me. That's it. That's how this works. I have a puzzle. You beat the puzzle. You get to me, and now you're gonna try to kill me.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that. It's like a final puzzle.
That's great. Yeah.
Like just like super like accepting of it. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They're like, what's the point here? That's funny. I love it.
Oh, I love this. Okay, so the boys in a supernatural... Oh my god, what if it was actually a supernatural themed escape room? Like, based off the books?
And they couldn't answer the questions truthfully because they're like, no. There's no way they could know that really. Like Dean and the Rhonda Hurley panties question would come up. And he's like, nope.
And just like to be thematic, it would have like recordings of like actors playing them, like reading lines to them in their voice, like, "Hey, this is Dean. I'm just driving down the road in my gorgeous Impala, and I just think I'll give you a hint." Like just like the cringiest, like cheap, like they just hired a fan off like Kijiji or like Craigslist.
Love it.
Oh my god. I think that just adds an extra layer to how like obnoxious it would be.
Yeah. That would be
And
absurd.
then it would piss off Sam even more that he can't solve the puzzles because they're puzzles like that he supposedly created for the room.
Right. Yeah, oh my god, if the theme was like Sam and Dean created these puzzles. And they're like, I am Sam and Dean.
Oh my god. And just like Sam being like, no, I would never do it that way. That's so stupid.
That's awesome.
I think that is a brilliant episode.
I love it.
My god. The problem with every one of these is I really like, I know I'm going to be hoping for something this good in the show. And like, I might get it sometimes, but like, I never know.
Yeah. You'll get a touch of it. I think it's season 14. They do something cute. Yeah.
7 more seasons from now.
Years from now. About how many seasons per year do you all do?
I've like lost count because we're halfway through now. We're officially like season 7 midpoint is the halfway of the entire series in theory. And we've been doing this now for about 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
So in theory, in 3 to 4 years, we'll be done.
Okay.
Which is also ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And we're anyone listening now, we're already discussing what the future holds for the show in 3 to 4 years.
You know, when you all will be finishing Supernatural when my oldest daughter graduates high school.
Oh, well, Mary's little one will be will be in high school then already too. That's gonna be like a shocker even for me. My god, he's a baby still in my mind. Well, Katie, this was so much fun. I loved having you on for this. I loved all the tangents we got into for other media.
Yeah,
and I now have a list of new things to go watch I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, if you want to listen to Destiel audiobooks that I read with the author's permission, the podcast is Making It Up As We Go, a Destiel fanfic anthology podcast. If you like Our Flag Means Death, we have covered both seasons that are out. Mary and I have, and that is the Gentleman Pirates Library. That is wherever podcasts are found. And then you can find me on AO3 as Nerdy Nerdenstein. And you can find me on Twitter as Dusty L. Cannon.
And I will be linking to all of these in the show notes as well, in case you, like me, have trouble spelling things sometimes. I will tag everything. It's my biggest pet peeve. People go like, oh, follow me here. And it's like,
Well,
I have
don't
no idea how
know.
to spell that in some weird way.
Makes sense.
Yours are actually all pretty straightforward, but just in case, they're all in the notes for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Again, thank you. This was so much
Hey,
fun.
thank you.
Oh my god, a Minotaur episode. I love this.
I love it. I really would love that. That would be so much fun.
Amen. You've been listening to Carrying Wayward Minisode. We hope you enjoyed, and please let us know what you thought on Twitter, Instagram, or wherever socials you're on now at Carrying Wayward. And until next time, carry on our wayward friends.